Hi and welcome to Business Nuggets, your quick business tips channel for busy business owners. Today I'm going to talk about context, or the key missing ingredient in creating positive relationships. Whether you want to get more sales, create a more aligned and high performance team, or just simply better relationships with the people around you, context is often the key missing ingredient. Let me explain. There are three components to a congruent or positive communication: you, the other party, and the context. But very often, context is assumed to be understood by one or both parties, resulting in misunderstandings and conflicts. Here are some examples of context in communication and why it is absolutely crucial in getting positive outcomes. Number one, in sales situation between salesperson and prospect. Without context, in this case, understanding the prospect's needs. Salesperson is hard selling. The salesperson will get better results if he first asks some clarifying questions about the prospect's requirements. Number two, in management situation, where a manager is trying to give feedback to his subordinate. Without context or clarity of why the feedback is being given, staff hear it as noise they can ignore because they can't relate to the feedback being given. In this case, if the manager prepared the staff by explaining the reason for the meeting and the feedback, the staff will be able to relate better and accept it better. Number three, in coaching situation, without context, feedback or advice from the coach come across as judgmental rather than helpful, because without context, the values of the coach is often imposed on the other party. The coach will get better results by first clarifying the outcome his client is looking for and what is important to the client, so that his client can make better choices. In fact, in any other situation involving two parties trying to establish a connection, business partners, clients, father and sons, husbands and wife, etc., without proper context, most often they agree or disagree without knowing what exactly they agree or disagree on, leading to more conflicts in the future. The fact is, people are not interested in what we have to say unless we first show genuine interest in them. We do that by asking clarifying questions. Now let me tell you a personal story of an incident that happened recently, which perfectly illustrates why context is important. A couple of days before I conducted a training on counseling for a group of experienced counselors, I shared the slides on WhatsApp with a group of friends where some are interested in personal development. One person wrote back almost instantaneously after I clicked send, and before I even put down my phone, about the content being rocket science, too deep and complicated to be useful. Now, his feedback, while it's totally sincere and given in good faith, would have been useful if there was some context to it, because if the target audience was students or laymen with zero experience, it would have been rocket science. If the target audience was active practicing therapists with a minimum degree in psychology or counseling, then it might have been too shallow and might not even add value to my target audience. Now, if the target audience was newly qualified therapists not yet on the field, or experienced lay people had done plenty of voluntary work, then it might have fit perfectly. But because there was no clarifying questions asked before the feedback was given, I choose to ignore the feedback because it's not helpful in any way, because it's feedback given in the vacuum. So that really got me thinking. How many sales do salespeople lose because they do not seek to understand what the customer wants? They only want to sell based on their own assumptions. How many times we could have improved our staff and create a great team if only we have the skills to put things into context and give the right advice and the right coaching at the right time? How often do we have good intentions but are actually doing more harm than good because we do not know the context but decided it's appropriate to give others advice or feedback anyway? And the most important question of all, as a business leader and a manager, you obviously want your staff to learn and grow. After all, you have invested in them in hiring them and paying their salaries. Salespeople obviously want more sales, and it takes a lot of money and effort in marketing to get face-to-face with an interested prospect. And as a caring family member or friend, you want to support your loved ones and your friends in any way you can because you care about them. Now, doesn't it make sense then, whether you're coaching your staff, selling to a prospect, or trying to help your loved ones, since you already invested your time, money, and energy? Why not do it in a way that works? By spending just a little bit of additional time to understand the context. Why spend all the effort, money, and energy only to get less than satisfactory outcomes when you can understand the context and be a lot more effective? Now, as you go through this week, I challenge you to do this. Number one, before giving any advice or feedback this week, take a deep breath, a step back, and ask a few clarifying questions first. Number two, even if the person you're dealing with, whether at work or at home, have repeatedly done the same thing in the past, stop, take a deep breath, and ask clarifying questions anyway. Seek to understand. Number three, when you are sure you understand the situation, then you offer your feedback or advice if it's still appropriate. Now see the difference a simple adjustment like this can make. Thank you for watching. My name is Manwa. I'm a professional business coach. I have coached business owners in 31 different industries over the past 19 years to grow their businesses. My clients are mostly SMEs, and 55% of which are first to second generation family businesses. I hope you have learned something from this business nugget today. I hope you will always consider the context in every situation you are in, because building positive connections with customers, suppliers, team members and partners is the foundation of a great business. And you cannot do that unless you consider yourself, the other party and the context. If you need more help, each month, I do a limited number of free trial coaching sessions for business owners who meet these two criteria. Number one, you have been in business for at least 3 years. Number two, you turn over at least 2 million ringgit per year. My average client turnover is anything from 2 million to over 800 million ringgit per year. Every business owner can only sign up for one trial session, by the way. I included these conditions because recently some businesses have been registering after each video, expecting a free session every couple of weeks. Hey guys, let's play fair, okay? Now, hit the link displayed to book your trial session today. I look forward to serving you soon.